Welcome back to my glorious sprinkles. Did I ever tell you that the green candles were pumping? This is Bitcoin's green candles. Now, I don't like doing this, but we have to do it. There are too many green candles in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want green candles to go up forever. I'm just telling you, whenever this happens, something big is about to happen. I don't know why. You count the colors of the candle. I know it's meant to be some pseudoscience, but that's what happens. Look, if you recall, in the bearish bear market, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candles. We had this tiny one, and then we exploded down for the mega ones. Now, wouldn't it be great if we repeated it on the upside? It would be great. The problem is there are too many weak hands. We know that. When weak hands exit, they exit all at once. I can prove it to you in 2 seconds. No one was selling Bitcoin in the bear market and saying, well, let me just sell 25% because I'm very scared and there's a lot of panic and markets are going down. Let me just sell 25%. No one does that. You know that. Be intellectually honest with yourself. What they do is they say they're little soy boys and they go, you know what? I'm going to market exit out everything. That's right. 100% of my position. Unfortunately, on the upside, it takes a lot more movement to get people to go all in. They don't start just going in all in here. They don't do that. Of course, you know that, right? They start going all in if you start to see a big pump candle. And that's exactly what we're waiting for. But you know what else we're waiting for? A pump. This is the Bitcoin Mt. Gox Ponzi fractal. Once again, we are still around the zone. We don't know if it's going to continue. You never know if they do. We are here to have fun. What I've noticed is a lot of soy boy cucks with hunchbacks. What they'll do is they'll pick one piece of information that you might guess or ponder or think about. And what they'll do is they'll try to attach it to a chart and say, well, you don't know what you're talking about, right? What they're actually doing is, because they're so weak, they are justifying in their minds why they shouldn't be long. Because they say, well, this person thought it was going up and it didn't. So I'm going to stay out. Now, what they're doing is they're being mid-curvers. You want to win in this game of speculation, you can't just pick these tiny pieces of information and rely on them completely. You have to look at the big picture. You can't just look at the leaves. You got to look at the forest, okay? And so when we're looking at this fractal, it's very interesting, but all we're using it to do is to see how far along the 4-year cycle are we. Because right now, if you listen to all my posts, friends, I don't trust the 4-year cycle. But this is what's going to make it for you in this game. It's looking at these from a different lens and saying, well, you know, I think one day the 4-year cycle will break, but not today. Right now, it is going. And, you know, I promise you, friends, I have deja vu. Deja vu. Back here, we were all following the stonk to flow model, Plan B's model. And, of course, it broke at the very, very end, just when everybody needed it to work. So that's why, just guessing, perhaps the 4-year cycle takes us the whole way. And just when we need the 4-year cycle to give us the final blow-off, it doesn't give us the blow off. It gives us the poopy town. But this is just guessing, okay? At the end of the day, you can't really change anything. All you can do is make sure that you are long and strong right now. Isn't it also funny? We've been looking at a lot of pumping and dumping and pumping and dumping and pumping and dumping, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. It's like, when is it going to end? Just do something. Now, it is doing something. This is what happens, friends. It moves along in an upwards range before it goes up. Just like how when Bitcoin goes down, it just goes down forever and forever and forever. All right. Now, we are still waiting for it to enter that poopy McPoop town, okay? Because all of these juicy news that we go through, like, it doesn't really matter, friends. We could see this happening from a long time ago. Go back. Don't go back, right? But go back. Go to all my videos from here. I said most likely the year will just be this up and down poopy town and we get to this golden zone. This golden zone is where the break-even soy boys are going to wake up. These are the people who, okay, they did not sell down here. because they're like, you know what? I don't want to sell. It's too cheap. Yeah, I'm not looking at it. So what they did was they didn't look at it. Now that the prices are going up, they're eventually going to get near break even. Bitcoin's going to go first, okay? And then we're going to see the altcoins. And when they all start moving, a lot of these people, they're not going to market sell immediately, but what most likely is going to happen is they're going to get tested. They're going to get a taste of winning. But then the next crash will be a poopy town, right? We don't know if it's what shape it's going to be, but it's going to make them go, oh my gosh, I'm sick of it. I can't believe I waited this whole time. I'm just going to take my money and get out of here. That's what we're waiting for. And that is another cycle of hope and disbelief rinsing. Because don't forget why we're here, friends. We're here because we believe that the growth is going to be big. So here, I'm here to tell you, right? I'm here to tell you, I'm not racist, but I think there's a 95% chance if you expose yourself to crypto that benefits when DeFi hits $1 trillion, you're going to kill it. Because that's what we're really waiting for, okay? We are waiting for the fundamentals to kind of catch up to the growth rates and everybody to wake up again and stop thinking about tomorrow and instead start thinking about next year or the next 3 years. That's what we want, okay? Like, don't forget these numbers are tiny. DeFi, so decentralized finance, is only $46 billion. It's like 40 to 50. It is so small, all right? The big round number of 1 trillion is what we're waiting for. Okay, now you can go pick what you like. You know, friends, this is the thing. A lot of people, they'll claim they have good posture, but they don't. What they'll say is they'll say, well, I'm going to wait until things look better. No. When things look better, the yields are trash. And then you're really going to have to believe that the government's going to bail everybody out. I don't want to take that chance. I want to benefit by buying low and selling high. Buy in the depression, sell in the euphoria. All right. Now, obviously, ones I like: Chainlink, Big Mac DeFi, Pulse Chain is also real DeFi, Pulse, PulseX, and Hex. You can pick whatever you want. Some people like picking Polkadot. Some people like picking Litecoin. Don't tell my neighbor, for example, who get you too excited or start inviting you to all the parties. All right. Now, when you're looking at these numbers, what can you really like do from it? Not much. You're betting and you're hoping that things just go up. You're betting and you're hoping that the prices are looked at by investors as really low and people don't really think too much about it and they just start cranking it up. That's what we want to see. When's it going to happen? Well, there's no guarantees, but you're kind of hoping that it starts happening when Bitcoin is near the elusive $1 trillion mark again, which is around $52,000, around there, 48, 50, 52. Once the industry is able to clock that, then people can start thinking in their minds, oh, if Bitcoin store of value hit 1 trillion, I wonder what else can. Maybe smart contracts can. By the way, that refers to Ethereum. That'll be a $9,400 Ethereum. Okay, you don't even need it to really get there. You just need people to think it can get there. Because, friends, that's really, at the end of the day, what it is. It's speculation. So what's speculation? You're basically saying, okay, this thing that we're in, it's going up, all right? And there's a long-term trend, okay? There's a long-term trend. But what you're hoping, so this is the trend, for example. You're trying to guess how far into the future do people price it in. You see here, look how far in the future they price it in. This might be year 5, and we're like year 0 right now. So if they want to price it in big, they might overshoot it in 1 year, and they put it to a price where the trend matches it in year 5. You know, this actually happened before. Have you heard of a little coin called Ethereum? Okay, so Ethereum, this is why a lot of people, friends, this is why a lot of people like, subscribe, belly button, or, and you follow, okay? Look at this. Ethereum went 4,500x up to $1,400. It went up there without DeFi. No NFTs, no swapping, no Uniswap, no Aave, no money markets, nothing. It had none of that. So how did it go from freaking 31 cents to $1,400 here when it had nothing? You go, well, the market was pricing in the future. It's exactly what I just showed you right now. That's why you had a vicious bear market after. So you probably want to know, oh, how far into the future are we pricing things? Honestly, it's a guess. You don't know. And you never know, right? If the market you're in, it could price something in 1 year into the future, or 2 years, or 5 years. You have no idea. Now, you hope it gets to year 5, because that will mean a big bubble has come. But really, you don't know. You have no idea what's going on, friends. At the end of the day, you're just trying to guess what point is reasonable and can you exit there. Because a lot of people, what they're going to say is, they're going to say, well, we're going to price ourselves 10 years into the future. Why do they do that? It's because they got like $1,000 in or 10 grand in. They're always hoping, okay, we're definitely going to get the 100x. We're definitely going to get a 300x. Okay, you can say that to me and I'll say, no, we won't. Because I know one thing about the markets and the crowd, and you are smarter than you think. The crowd gets more wise. The crowd gets more intelligent. The crowd gets better at pricing things. The crowd learns, oh, you know what? When I start seeing these signs, I don't get in, or I got to get in a different way. People learn. The market learns. Okay. You know, in a market, by the way, friends, when I'm about to tell you this, you're going to forget it, but you should be writing this down on your bedroom wall. All right. The market and its players, every single time you are competing with the winners of the past. All right. I'm going to say that again. All right. And I'm going to crank some angel music. You are competing with the survivors and the winners of the past, the recent past. All right. That's who you're fighting against. You're not fighting against all these like silly dum-dums. Okay. That is like the very, very end. So what this means is the people around you, they're not just going to just go and give you money for no reason. They're not. All right. That's why it's a tough game. The game is always morphing and always changing. The good thing is there are principles and lessons that I know still work. For example, the color of the monthly candles, which is so simple, no one believes it. Okay. When these things start playing out and we can see it, you can then match it to the sentiment and go, okay, well, how do I think things are going to play out in the next 12 months from here? You know, and no matter how many times I say this, people will still refuse to believe it. And that's good. That's what it's good, friends. That's me learning and saying, well, even though there's information there, people still don't want to absorb it, which is good. That means the game is still easy. For example, right? So you have people still in denial. So Rain San saying, you're only a racist when you're fighting out X's targets. You know, friends, none of these matter at the end of the day, because you'd be surprised. The wisdom of the crowd overruns all. Okay, it really does. The wisdom of the crowd and everybody's 10,000x targets or minus 100% targets, all of those get matched in between. Only I can see this from being here 18 hours a day, and one day you'll be able to see it too. Good question here that we'll end on, friends. Pulsican. If total DeFi hits 1 trillion, what's the prediction on Hex, PulseX Link, or everything, right? So when it comes to these, of course, there's a bit of a pickle. And what's this pickle, friends? The pickle, okay, is there a pickle emoji? There will be a pickle friendship emoji. Now, the pickle situation is this. Real world assets, so RWA coming in, they unfortunately have a lot of boomer assets that are artificially inflating our market cap. So for example, if I go and put $100 billion of houses tokenized on the blockchain, did I add 100 billion of value? No, I didn't. I just said, well, I transferred a contract over. Now, here's the thing. If you as a degen can swap the value of your house and trade degen coins, all right, now we've opened up the world. But let's be honest, that's not going to happen, okay? You're not going to have people with $400,000 homes in certain countries that they've saved their whole life for. They go, oh, look, give me some tokens for it. I'm going to start swapping things around. Like, we're so far into the future to even think of that, right? So unfortunately, what we might see is real world assets. The market cap might rise, and then you're wondering why tokens aren't doing 1,000x or why the prices aren't getting there, okay? So that's something to think about. Now, when it comes to Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex, and Chainlink, and all these, I've already done a calculation of this, and it's where I get my numbers from. So basically, I think I guessed that Chainlink could be 5% to 10% of the total DeFi. All right, so that is about 50 to a 100 billion market cap. And if you go to Chainlink right now it's 80 billion. All right, so that is like another 10x to 20x-ish, roughly around there. What price will that be? Well, now you have around, it could be $100 to $200 Chainlink, all right? So that's where we're getting those numbers from. And does it all have to play out? Not really, because you're like, okay, if you go to 1 trillion, why don't you go to 3 trillion? People start asking those numbers to me, okay? And when you're looking at these numbers, don't get too fixated on them. I just want you to remember one thing. The targets are big. That's all that matters. The target is big. You don't know how long it's going to take to get there. But I think when you look back in a decade from now, you look back, you go, wow, I was buying crypto when total DeFi was under 1 trillion. That's the optimistic attitude you got to have. Why? Because everybody's depressed and nobody believes in it, okay? Just like, you know how we look at Bitcoin, we're like, wow, I could have been buying Bitcoin when it was under 10 billion market cap, you know? Remember, 1 trillion is $52,000. So wouldn't it have been a treat if you could go back in time and do that? So right now, I've told you the story behind everything going up, friends. So everybody's looking at all these other trash news, and I'm going to go through them later, but don't worry about them. They mean nothing. Friends, look, please, let's just go back to January of this year, okay? Look how big the green candle was, okay? Just a big green candle. Zzz. What was the news here? Nothing. The news was we were too low, okay? There was no news here, all right? So, and each time there's a green candle, there's a new set of news, people, things go up and down. There's a new chain launching. Honestly, we cover it because we're in the game and we're trying to spot a new sexy gem for 2024 and beyond. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because the long-term thesis remains the same. Crypto's going up. We're way too undervalued. We don't know how high we're going to go, but all we know is that the trend is up and you are my friend. Catch you in the next one.